Okay, welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and for the Monday weekend wrap up in sports, we got Jason Cameron joining us as always. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. It's going good. I basically stayed out of the rain for the most part.
Nice.
Weekend, like Saturday was ridiculous. I was hoping that Saturday didn't extend into Sunday because it was coming down pretty hard Saturday.
Yeah, I was disappointed because we had some weekend plans, Saturday plans, and went out. But just tried to go from place to place, minimize the amount of outdoor exposure because it was pouring rain. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was coming down hard. Like I had to go out to Abbotsford, deal with some stuff with the car, get winter tires put on. So going back and forth, I was just like, wow. Like even coming back at night, I want to say it was like, I think I was on the road around 9:00. It was hard to see the road.
Wow. Yeah. And they definitely do not need more rain out there.
No, they most certainly don't. Like I think they've already been it's already been on the news that if the pump station fails this time around out there in the Sumas Plains, that lake's there for a while.
Wow.
It's not going to be going anywhere.
Did you see flooded areas when you were out there?
No. Actually, everything was good. And then plus where my family members are out in Abbotsford, they're on a hill. So I didn't see anything. But it was raining pretty hard. And I was like, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So you got your tires on, winter tires ready to go. I guess, keep your fingers crossed. We don't see too much snow anyway, though.
Yeah, exactly. Because considering the amount of rain that we have, if it does turn into snow, yeah, that's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
A lot of snow.
Yeah. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully it's a good winter. I'm not sure what it's going to be turning out like, but we'll see what happens. Why don't we get into it? There's NFL Week 12. The Monday Nighters happening as we speak. Washington football team just took an 8-point lead, 17-9 over the Seahawks. Taylor Heineke is having a good game, 162 yards passing with a touchdown pass. J.D. McKissick has both TDs for Washington, one on the ground, one through the air. Terry McLaurin has 40 yards through the air. But Seahawks are sinking lower and lower and lower every week we go by.
It's a barn burner of a game. What a game. No, seriously. It's the Seahawks they're looking to rebuild now, I think. Yeah. They're looking to retool. And I think this rebuild that the Seahawks are going to go through, it may take a couple of years.
Yeah. I just hope they change the coordinator. If they're going to keep Pete Carroll around, I hope they can change the, definitely the offensive coordinator. I've been frustrated with their lack of identity, lack of throwing the ball to the right guys. They seem to want to run the ball even though Carson's hurt, and they're doing a running back by committee. Really bothers me that the Seahawks are down at the bottom of their division and starting to look like they're going to be one of the worst teams in the conference, maybe in the league. And it's tough around here because there are so many Seahawks fans. People love it when the team's good, and it's just a quick trip down the I-5 to go see a game.
Well, I guess the good thing is, if there is a good thing, which there isn't, about the fact that the Seahawks are not very good, ticket prices should be very affordable going forward.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. We'll be able to see a losing team if you want to. Yeah. Russell Wilson's 33rd birthday tonight. This is probably the worst season of his career. Do you think this really frustrates him to the point where he wants out again?
Well, he wanted out in the first place, right? So I don't know. I don't think this season is really emboldened him to say, man, I love this team. I really want to stay. You probably don't want to stay right now because if you look at the team and you look at their prospects going forward, bleak is a good word. Yeah. So he's probably thinking to himself, he's got to shove on to something better, to something more, more amenable to his legacy of being like a Hall of Fame quarterback and all that sort of stuff. Because all of that is very important to him, like it is to any player, but very important to him especially. So if he wants those things, I don't think he's going to get that in Seattle anymore.
Yeah. We'll see if the Seahawks decide to put him on the market. It's always hard to get proper value for elite players in the league. Maybe they can get some draft picks and blow this thing up and start from the foundation right up. We'll see, but yeah, it's been a tough year. Definitely one of the toughest I can remember to be a Seahawks fan and follow this team. They've got the weapons, but they just seem to just year after year it seemed like they just lost a couple of faces and another couple faces and another couple, and this year they finally just imploded.
Yeah, man. Like it's just you can't have addition through subtraction. And they've subtracted so much that this is what you're left with.
Yeah. Basically, Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner is the only guys that have been around this whole run, and it's not looking good. We'll keep you posted on the score, but so far Washington's up 17-9. Washington's 4-6 going into this game, and Seahawks are 3-7. Washington's actually still in the mix for playoff berth. They're not far down the chain. There's a lot of teams in the hunt in the NFC. There are some elite teams, and then as you're looking at those 6th and 7th positions in the playoffs, it seems like 8 teams are in the running for 2 spots.
Yeah, there's a glut there, and we're gonna see who can rise to the top out of all of that. And I'm interested to see which team is going to capitalize on their opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, we start with the NFC typically. Why don't we sort of go by the seeds right now, and we'll sort of focus on the teams that are at the top. Arizona had a bye. They sit first in the conference at 9-2, looking really strong. Kyler Murray, it sounds like he's on his way back and about to play in this next game. Green Bay, huge win on the weekend, sitting in second place in the conference, 9-3. Were you impressed by Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Green Bay and their victory?
Yes, I was. I was impressed. Okay, but I want to start with Aaron Rodgers' whole COVID thing because that's still very much a story. Yep. There was a rumor out there, and I don't know if it's true, that he had what you call COVID toe.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. But he has come out and said, no, it was actually a fractured pinky.
Yep.
Don't know what's true. Probably what he says is true, or it could probably be both things, and he's just not saying the other.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But either way, it doesn't matter, because you want to know why? Because he won. He's a winner.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And everybody will forget about Rodgers doing that thing with the COVID and lying and all that sort of stuff. As long as he wins, it's all good.
Yeah. It's hard to take him at his word after him lying about being vaccinated, and he wasn't. There was the rumor of the COVID toe. There actually was talk today that he might opt for some surgery, and some surgery might be needed to fix this toe. Supposedly he was going to make a decision early this week, so we'll keep abreast of that. But I don't know. I'm surprised that surgery might be necessary on this toe. That was weird news I heard today.
Odd, right?
No.
That's a little odd. Like, it's like, oh, like how badly did you mangle your pinky toe?
Yeah.
Like, how bad is that for you to say, well, it looks like I'm gonna have to go under the knife with that pinky? You know, like
Pretty weird,
I don't
yeah.
know. I can't remember the last time I really heard about it, where a
No,
pinky toe was so egregious that they had to go under the knife to fix it. So
yeah. Well, his performance didn't seem to lend to any types of problems with his foot. 307 yards passing, a couple touchdowns, and he scored one on the ground himself. Yeah, he seems like, he seems okay with it. The Packers got a great performance from Adams, 8 catches, 104 yards. Randall Cobb is back and performing amazingly, 4 catches, 95 yards, and a TD. AJ Dillon had a great day, and yeah, they seem to have all their weapons firing. Aaron Jones is still coming back from an injury, but rest of the squad's looking great.
yeah, man. And also too, he did say, Aaron Rodgers, I love going back to this guy. Aaron Rodgers after the game did say, you know what? Every time I step on the field, I expect greatness from myself. And I was just like, oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Hey, but hey,
Little cocky, hey?
Yeah, a little bit of arrogance,
Yeah.
or a ton of it, a little bit of cockiness, but hey, he delivered. But at the same time, it's not like Stafford had a bad game. Stafford had an excellent game, man.
Yeah.
21 to 38, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like he came close. And Odell Beckham Jr. showed up. All of a sudden, 5 receptions, 81 yards, and a TD. That's kind of what they need from him. If he's going to be on the team, that's exactly what they need.
Yeah, this was one of the games of the week, definitely. Packers pulled it out 36-28. Rams made a furious comeback, but just fell 1 touchdown short. Yeah, both these teams are, elite, but unfortunately the Rams have hit a speed bump here. 3rd loss in a row. I'm not sure what's exactly wrong. They've got great offense. They've got great defense. Maybe some new faces in, just haven't quite meshed with the squad yet, but surprising that they roar off to a 7-1 start, lose 3 straight.
Yeah, it is surprising, but at the same time, it's like the Rams, like you said, they do have the pieces, so they can put this back together again. And if they go for a run at the end of the regular season, then they're good, I guess. But
yeah, I'm sure they were super thrilled with Odell Beckham getting his touchdown in his 2nd game back. He played limited because he had just come in that week, last game. But yeah, he finally got an opportunity. It seems like he can fit really in LA a lot more than Cleveland. I think LA's a better town for a guy like him.
Yeah, it just looked like in the game it was a better fit. Like it just looked like it was a better fit for him within the offense and everything else. And then also too, he doesn't literally have to worry about getting double teamed or anything, because there's a bunch of really, really good receivers all over the field with the Rams. So yeah.
Well, great performance by the Packers. We'll see. The Rams need to regroup a little bit. The 3rd seed in the NFC is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They seem to be poised again, trying to repeat as Super Bowl champions. 8-3 start, big 38-31 win over the Colts. Leonard Fournette was the star of the day, star of this game for sure, but the best performance of the day, 4 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air. The other guys weren't needed. They just said, okay, Leonard, it's your game, score all the TDs for us, and he sure stepped up.
Yeah, he sure did. He had a monster game. Another guy that actually had a monster game, because Brady was just like, hey, big guy, catch the ball. Gronkowski had a big game, man. 7 receptions, 123 yards. He went to his favorite big tight end as a target all game. And the other thing that stuck out to me is Brady really loves to play the Colts. He loves playing the Colts. He loves beating up on this team. Brady, you know what his record is against the Colts? 16-4.
Oh, geez. Wow.
That's against Peyton. That's all those years against Peyton. And just like, oh, man, Peyton, you just are not on my level.
Unreal, eh? Yeah. I'm sure he got up for all those games because they always compared him and Peyton throughout their careers and said who was actually the better quarterback. But the better team was obviously the Patriots and for many years. And he's compiled a great record. I was shocked at the way the Colts game plan was, though. Jonathan Taylor has been carrying the ball like crazy. And for some reason, they just didn't really give it to him like they normally do. I was shocked. I know the Bucs have a great run defense, but they just didn't. They just abandoned it really early. And Taylor ended up pretty good stats, but not the same types of numbers that we're used to seeing lately.
No, not at all. Like, look at his actual numbers. Okay, 16 attempts, 83 yards and a touchdown. That looks like he was actually pretty successful. Yeah. So keep giving him the ball then.
Weird,
like they should have kept running the ball. Like, it seemed like running the ball was actually the right thing for them to do. And then they just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I don't get it. Yeah, very weird. Yeah, getting Carson Wentz to throw the ball 44 times, that's not the recipe for success with this team. And with Jonathan Taylor averaging over 5 yards a carry, I just think, he should have been having at least 20, 25 carries and, dominating like he has. I was really, really surprised that they abandoned the run quite early and put it all on Carson Wentz, who had a good game, but just didn't have the same type of weapons that he has through the air that the Bucs have. So it was just, it was going to happen if this was the game plan.
I don't think, how about this? I'm going to break it down to even a more basic thing. It's never a good idea to have a shootout against that guy, Tom Brady.
No.
It's just like, more often than not, you're gonna lose like badly.
I know. So weird. Yeah. Don't even attempt it. It's proven for the last 19 years. It's just not working. Yeah, it's not working. There was an amazing strip sack by Shaq Barrett that really turned this game around. Really ended up being the pivotal moment in this game that that caused the Tampa Bay to pull out the victory. Michael Pittman, wow, he struggled badly. He was his numbers 4 for 53, but I think they threw the ball to him maybe 10 times. He was dropping the ball. He was the cause of a pick or two, possibly both picks he was the cause of. Man, he had a horrifically bad game.
Yeah, he was not on point, to say the least. And when they needed him to really show up, he did not. No. He did not. So it was unfortunate because the Colts obviously they had a chance to win this game, but like, if their best players don't show up for a game of this magnitude, then really hard to win.
Yeah. Tampa Bay's rolling and looking good. Some hiccups through the year here, but 8-3, third seed. Dallas sits in the 4th seed. They had a really thrilling game on Thanksgiving Day against Vegas. Ended up losing 36-33 in overtime. But it was one of those good old-fashioned shootouts. Both teams had about 370 yards passing, and they just kept going back and forth through the entire game. Both teams were only 3 of 13 on third downs, or the score would have been probably in high 40s, 50s if they would have been able to capitalize on some of those third down attempts. But this was the game of Thanksgiving, and Dallas still seems like an easy runaway for this division. But where do you think they sit right now after 11 games?
I still think like going forward, like as a possible Super Bowl contender, still like a wild card, have an outside shot. Like, they really do. If they put it all together for a string of games, they're as deadly as any team in the league. Yeah. But that means they have to put it together for a string of games, and we really haven't seen it like that yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And also too, unfortunately, the Raiders really picked on the one Cowboys cornerback Brown. 4 pass interference calls And I believe all of them were on third downs.
Jeez, unreal.
And that alone cost the Cowboys the game.
Yeah. No, he had a terrible performance, and yeah, they kept showing him. He felt. I could see him wanting to just cover his face, like, oh my god. And the big screen in the Dallas Stadium. The thing is just absolutely massive. His face would have been plastered on there for making some really bad pass interference calls, and it was a rough game for him. I'd be surprised if he doesn't sit next game.
Yeah, kind of to send a message, or also too, like, it's just like, man, like we practice these drills in practice. Like, you can't, tackle the receiver. You can't do that. Can't do that.
No, it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dallas is 4. We mentioned the Rams with the Green Bay game. They're in the 5th position now, 7-4. There was a battle for 6th place between the 49ers and the Vikings. They both came in at 5-5, and whoever won the game took the 6th position. The loser took the 7th place, and the Niners got the win, 34-26. Elijah Mitchell ran the ball 32 times. He touched the ball 32 times, 27 rushes, 137 yards and a touchdown, and 5 for 35 through the air. Deebo Samuel also got some carries on the ground, 6 carries, 66 yards, and a couple TDs. Unfortunately, he got hurt, and I haven't heard the long-term prognosis, but it sounds like he's possibly out for a week or two.
Yeah, that hurt. Yes, the 49ers needed that win, but him going out with an injury of any sort, it hurts their chances for sure, because he is so integral to their offense. Yeah. And it's like he's like the engine that makes that offense go, man. So him being out for a week or two or however long it is will be detrimental to the 49ers.
Yeah, it's really tough on them. I don't really know why they decided to switch him to running back. They have had a few injuries there, but their top 2 guys are healthy right now. So I'm not sure why he got the ball for 6 carries and a couple touchdowns. Was sort of surprising to me. They've been using him in that role the last couple of weeks, but I'm not sure why.
Well, I think they're using them just because, like, they wanted to see how effective it could be. It was pretty effective.
Yeah.
6 carries, 66 yards, 11 yards a carry. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. True. But also too, they have to realize that he's not an actual running back. So keep putting him back there. Like, the chances of him getting hurt, it's going up and up and up. So
exactly. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk had a great game, 3 catches, 91 yards, over 30 yards a catch. And Juwan Jennings had the lone TD catch there. The Vikings played well and had a good game, but this was a tough loss for them. They also got an injury to their running back, Dalvin Cook, separated his shoulder. Maybe not separated, sorry, maybe dislocated his shoulder. It'll be an injury that probably hampers him for a few weeks for sure. We'll see what his status is, but that's not good for a guy that they utilize so much.
No, not good. Not good for the offense. Not good for Cousins, who relies on heading that ball off to Dalvin Cook so he can make his magic. And I want to say this, like, Vikings have basically been the only team to always lead by a touchdown. Yeah. Right. And they did it again in this game, by the way. Amazing. They were up by a touchdown again. Wow. So it's almost like the Vikings could easily be an 8-2 team.
Yeah.
If the ball falls their way. But Amazing. It happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird, 5-6, but leading every single solitary game this year by at least a touchdown. That's an incredible stat, and but they just obviously haven't been able to finish games off.
Yeah, they just haven't. Like, they just fall short of the goal all the time. So Yeah, it's disappointing if you're a Vikings fan.
Adam Thielen was good as usual with a couple TDs. Jefferson, man, this guy is an amazing talent. Another 83 yards on 4 catches, but huge loss for the Vikings, sitting in 7th place. And there's so many teams in the hunt trying to take that last spot from them. Let's see who's kind of there. Atlanta's 5-6. New Orleans is 5-6. Philly's 5-7. Carolina's 5-7. Washington, if they win tonight, they'll be 5-6. The Giants are there. Chicago's there, both at 4-7. Vikings are, going to be hunted down by many, many, many teams. I don't know. They better start getting that lead and closing out these games, or they're going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they are. And they're going to have to put pedal to the metal. But all these teams are going to be doing that. So again, like as I said before, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that glut of teams.
Yeah, sure will be. Yeah. I mentioned Carolina in that ramble off of the teams. They were dealt a massive blow as Christian McCaffrey had an MRI today, and his injuries put him on the shelf for the rest of the season. He's done. Man, he's had some injury troubles the last 3 years. A lot of people saying a lot of mean things about him on social media. And they just utilized him a little too much in Carolina, I thought, and he just couldn't hold up. His body has just been breaking down.
How can you say anything bad about that dude?
Yeah,
he's put life and limb on the line for the team.
Yeah,
it's football. Yeah, and especially for him as a running back, he's gonna get beat up on all the time. So it's I don't know. What do you expect? What more do you want from him? The guy is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
When he can get on the field and be healthy. It's just luck of the draw sometimes when it comes to football like this. I don't know about these fickle fans in Carolina, man. For me, you just don't say these things about a premier player on your team like that. Yeah. He's giving you all you can, man. He really is.
Yeah. Cam Newton was benched for the second half yesterday. He definitely had an off game. Really not a good performance. 5 for 21, 92 yards and a couple picks. He did run in one, 3 carries for 5 yards and run one in, but it's crazy how he's back. Oh, back to the bench, buddy. Football is definitely, what have you done for me lately?
Yes, it is. It is. And people have a very, very short attention span. So it's just hey, man, that doesn't cut it. So you got to ride the pine for a bit. Then, honestly, that was his worst statistical day I think he's ever had as a pro. It was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
I heard that one of the reasons why they brought Philip Walker in was to do a short 2-minute offense. Cam wasn't averse to that yet. He hadn't got all the ins and outs of what they run in a 2-minute offense. So PJ Walker came in, but he didn't fare too much better. We'll see. I think Cam's expected to start next game. The Dolphins kicked their ass that game, 33-10. They've won 4 straight now, and they're starting to creep up in the AFC. We'll cover that when we go to the AFC, but starting 1-7 and winning 4 in a row, quite shocking. Things are coming together for the Dolphins.
Never would have expected it. Never would have expected that the Dolphins would somewhat figure it out. And they have. So let's see what else they can do, with Tua as the quarterback and stuff. But they do have some offensive weapons. They got Gaskin and they got Waddle, who actually had a monster game in that game against the Panthers.
He sure did. Yeah. 9 catches, 137 yards and a TD. And Gaskin had a couple touchdowns on the ground. And yeah, they do have the weapons there. They just got to get a little bit better defense and pull it all together. But we'll see how it shakes out. One other team that's in that hunt that I wanted to mention was the Falcons. They beat the Jags 21-14. Making you happy. I did not see Atlanta sniffing a playoff spot this year, but they're playing pretty well and they do have a shot to get in there.
Amazing. I don't really know how they're doing this, but yes, they have a shot. And this was their best game rushing the football with 149 yards on the ground. Cordell Patterson had a big game. Yes. Something to cheer for. 16 attempts, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Matty Ice, he did what he needed to do, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But they beat a Jags team that's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they're calling Cordell Patterson the, Swiss Army knife, and they're utilizing him in so many different ways. And I didn't expect him to be this good this year, but he's had a really phenomenal year.
Yeah, he really has. He's been like the unexpected gem that the Falcons have sorely needed throughout the season.
Saints got crushed by the Bills. They're not looking good. It's looking like Taysom Hill's going to start next week, is from what I heard today. And Jalen Hurts had a horrible game for Philly. He was picked off 3 times, fumbled once. Really, the passing game was horrible for Philly, and they definitely had an off game in this one. Not a good performance from Philly, and a little reeling right now.
Yeah, Hurts. It seemed like every interception that he threw was just like, well, that wasn't close. Like you literally should not have thrown that. Like, that's bad.
That was bad.
But at the same time, man, the boy can run though. 8 attempts, 77 yards.
Yeah.
What he should have done was just like, you know what? Pass the football, not working today. Just gonna run.
Just gonna keep running. Yeah.
Just gonna keep running. No more passing. I'm another running back here.
Pretty much a first down every time he runs the ball. Like, if it's working, I guess keep with it. Yeah,
maybe he should have for this particular game, but it wasn't like it was an offensive barnstorm here. 13-7. Yeah, that was a rough game. I watched a little bit of that and then I turned it and said, no, I'm not going back to this one. There's other better games to watch. So, okay, well, that's the NFC picture. Let's talk about the AFC. Baltimore, they had a primetime game last night against Cleveland, and it was boring. It was not one of those great primetime games that we've had this year, but they were still able to pull out the victory. Lamar Jackson, it wasn't very good. He threw a career high 4 interceptions. He missed last week due to an illness, so maybe that's still lingering a little bit. He did make a great play on the TD pass to Mark Andrews to get the lone touchdown for Baltimore. But I don't feel super confident that they're number 1 seed in the AFC, but 8-3, looking good. If they can keep that defense rolling as good as they can and get a little more out of that offense, they can be great. But are you confident that they're the best team in the AFC at this point? No, absolutely not. No, I am not. But here's the thing that I'm going to say though. Yeah, Jackson had a horrible game, like throwing 4 picks like that. But those 2 plays he had, right? There's 2 plays he had. Like, I believe even the one pass rusher from the Browns said, it's a heck of a play. He shook his hands because he was just like, I can't believe you did that. Like,
what did you do? Yeah.
And that's what Jackson can do. Like, he can do these things where you're just like, oh, okay, well, none of that should have happened. Yeah. Like, and it was both plays to Andrews down the field. He's running around for his life and he's doing all this crazy stuff. And then all of a sudden the ball gets thrown and you're just like, wait, who's he throwing it to? Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like he has that within him. He does have that. So again, I'm not supremely confident, but every once in a while, that dude is simply amazing. He's dazzling.
I know, amazing. Yeah. Some of the plays that he's had in his career, it's just mind blowing. And you never count the guy out. When he goes back there, he can make the magic happen. We mentioned the Vikings losing a lot of heartbreaking games. The Ravens are 6-1 in tight games, 6-1 in games decided by 8 points or fewer. So they're pulling a lot of those out. The Browns came into the game ranked number 1 on the rush, and Baltimore just shut those guys down. Nick Chubb, 8 carries for 16 yards, and Kareem Hunt, 7 carries for 20 yards. I haven't seen these guys get shut down like this at all since they've been a duo. That was an amazing performance by Baltimore's rush defense.
Yeah. I think they took it to heart. They took the challenge and they overcame. They just said, "You guys aren't running the ball nowhere," and they did not. I was surprised. I was supremely surprised. I didn't think Baltimore's defense would do that to the Browns' running attack, and then they did.
Yeah,
shut the door completely.
The Browns get a bye week, but then they play Baltimore again, their next game, December 12th. So kind of a scheduling quirk. They play Baltimore back-to-back games. The Ravens don't have a bye, and they play Pittsburgh. So another AFC North opponent there. But kind of crazy for the Browns. They might be able to extract some revenge in 2 weeks here.
They might be able to. And maybe they should be able to if they played better, because come on, man. Jackson gave you the ball 4 times and you still couldn't beat them.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. They gave you the ball 4 times and you couldn't beat them. So
that's got to be disheartening for sure. Yeah. When you're picking off a QB 4 times, typically you're going to win the game. I would love to see the stats on that. And it's probably something like 304, where a quarterback gets picked off 4 times and the other team doesn't win. It's usually almost a guarantee.
It usually always is. And the fact that they couldn't get that guarantee done is hopefully they'll come out with a lot more fire in the game against Ravens next time they meet.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2 ranked team in AFC, a familiar face that we've been seeing for the past 20 years, New England. 6 wins in a row with this rookie quarterback, Mac Jones, an amazing defense. New England suddenly ascended up back to the AFC top, and 1 year down, back up there. Belichick has been able to pull this off. Are you surprised that they've been able to win 6 in a row and now they're sitting in the 2nd playoff position in the AFC?
Of course I am. None of this was supposed to happen. I don't even know how he did this. He's a warlock, some sort of weird magician. I don't know how he's doing this. I'm going to be honest. I never expected the Pats to be where they are right now.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't, all things considering, I would never have considered them beating the Titans. But then the Titans have injuries. They're missing Derrick Henry and all this sort of other stuff. But even with that being said, I didn't think that the Patriots would just roll up on the Titans the way they have. Yeah. No way. I didn't expect that.
36-13. I was really surprised by that. Patriots just utilized an amazing defense, though, and they've got Mac Jones just dishing it, little screen passes, short little passes across the middle. Really not taking a ton of risks with his throws. He had his career best day with yards passing, 310 yards and a couple TDs. And can he be that new Tom Brady? Is he the Tom Brady that we saw 20 years ago coming into this Belichick and Patriot system?
Okay, let's hold our horses. Hey, kid's doing good, all right? Yeah. A little early to anoint him as the next coming up, because pretty sure there's only ever going to be one guy like that. So, but to his credit, man, he's getting it done. And he's getting help along the way. The Pats defense forced 4 turnovers against the Titans, and they're finding ways to win.
Yeah,
they're finding ways to win.
In a really cool scheduling quirk, just like I mentioned with Baltimore and Cleveland, these guys, the Patriots get to face Buffalo 2 out of the next 3 weeks. So that'll be for the division title, probably, if one team can win both of them. If the Pats can, get at least one, that will keep Buffalo below them. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in those 2 weeks between Buffalo and New England.
The NFL as an organization has to be ecstatic over something like this, where they're just like, couldn't have planned that any better. That's awesome. That's great. Because every Bills and Patriots fan will be obviously right in on watching TV, thinking to themselves, all right, well, this is it. Yeah. This is for the division. Yeah. All the marks.
You mentioned the Titans had their off time. I couldn't believe Tannehill only had 93 yards passing, but they were really run focused on this one. And it surprised me. Derrick Henry was out, and they decided to bring in Adrian Peterson and have a few guys in there, and it really wasn't working. But this game, they had some amazing running performances. Dontrell Hilliard, 12 carries for 131 yards and a TD, and Deontay Foreman, 19 carries, 109 yards. Man, they were really doing great on the ground, but they just weren't scoring enough to keep up with the Patriots.
Yeah, no, they ate up a lot of ground, but they didn't score, which was the problem. Mm-hmm. And also, too, now looking at these guys' numbers, we're like, well, wait, then why did you bring in AP in the first place? Could these guys always have done that? You just didn't, I don't know, give them the ball?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, Hilliard, man, 10.9 yards a carry, 12 carries for 131 yards and a TD. That's a phenomenal performance.
No, it's a great performance. Like from both running backs. Like I was shocked to see like just how well the running attack was. And then, but when you look at the score, you're just like, well, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
So bizarre. Yeah, really bizarre. Titans were number 1 seed going into this game. They've slipped back to number 3, and they're reeling. They're missing Henry. They're missing AJ Brown. They're missing Julio Jones. Their offense is struggling, and I don't know where they go from here. We'll see if they keep struggling. They were definitely the team to beat for most of this year, but they've slipped back to 3, and it looks like they probably slipped back a few more positions. Especially with KC sitting at number 4, 7-4 on the year. They had their bye week this week. They faced the Denver Broncos. They battle at Sunday night, and that's the battle for the division lead. Denver's playing really well right now, but I think KC's finally figured out what's going to help them get some victories.
Yeah, I think KC has figured it out. I think Mahomes is settled in, and that offense looks as dangerous as ever. And it seems like they figured out some things on the defensive end as well. Yeah. It seems that things are beginning to come together for KC.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Cincinnati sits just behind them, also 7-4. Cincy had a huge explosion against the Steelers, an AFC North battle that it was completely one-sided in this game.
Oh, yeah. The Bengals they boots to the Steelers. They just beat them up and said, no. They big brothered them. Yeah. They big brothered them all game. Yeah. And the guy that really had a huge game in this was their running back Mixon. 28 attempts, 165 yards, wow. 2 touchdowns. Wow. He ran wild over them, man. He ran wild all over that team.
Incredible game for him. Yeah, he just blew them out of the water. They could not stop him, and they said, okay, we'll just keep handing the ball. What the Colts should have done with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, exactly. 28 attempts. They should have gave Taylor 12 more attempts at the ball, and then maybe they win that game.
Yeah, it's
you
crazy.
know, 12 less attempts passing the ball and 12 more attempts to their stud running back, and maybe they win that game.
Steelers have fallen all the way to the bottom of their division and 12th in the conference. Can we write them off, or are they done?
Yeah, I don't know. I never really expected much from them this season anyways. And now that they are where they are, I believe that's where they're going to stay. Like I don't see them being able to climb out of this or going on a historic run. I don't see that from this team.
Yeah. The two corners were really good for Denver as well. Mike Hilton and Eli Apple both had picks. Hilton's was a pick 6, and they really shut down Claypool. He's one of the guys that's emerged as the top weapon for Roethlisberger, but they really weren't allowing him to get the ball much and score. And this was 41-10, absolutely crushing. And Mixon was definitely the star there. Huge performance. Burrow was good, but they didn't really need him that much with Mixon just going crazy.
Yeah, they didn't really need him that much, but Burrow was still very accurate, 20 of 24, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And going back to the cornerback for Cincy, Mike Hilton, that was apparently his first pick 6 at any level that he's ever played at.
In his life, wow.
In his life, yeah.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Good for him. Way to go, buddy.
That's great. I hope he got the game ball.
Yeah, I hope he did too, because he deserved it. He earned it.
Yeah,
really did.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we mentioned Buffalo just a minute ago when we talked about New England. They're facing them. They're playing pretty damn good right now. They had a really good performance on Thanksgiving, beat the Saints 31-6. Josh Allen had 4 touchdown passes, and he found a lot of his favorite weapons that game. This is going to be great. I can't wait for this Patriots-Bills matchup, especially playing them 2 out of 3 weeks.
Yeah, it is going to be like it's like a little mini what do I want to say? Series. It's like a series, little mini series, right? And so and that's cool because you never expected the Patriots to be where they are now.
No.
I expected the Bills to be here. I didn't expect the Patriots to be where they are. So this is going to be good theater, good football theater, watching these two go at it for the next 2 weeks.
As I mentioned, Buffalo's offense was great that game, but their defense was phenomenal. They held New Orleans to 190 total yards, only 12 first downs in the entire game. Trevor Siemian struggled, didn't play too great. There's talk that he will be replaced by Taysom Hill, and they'll move forward with that. There was nothing going on for the Saints in that game. Buffalo just completely shut them down. Yeah,
Buffalo did completely shut them down. Like Allen even had 2 picks, and then you know what the Saints did? Nothing. They did nothing with that. They're just nothing. So yeah, man. I don't know what the answer is for the Saints. Hopefully Taysom Hill can inject some life into that offense, but the Bills look good right now again. We'll see what they look like next week.
Yeah.
Question mark.
So there's seven playoff positions in both sides this year. They added 1 more, and the Chargers sit currently in that 7th position. Such an up and down year. You and I've talked a lot last year about, they seem to be emerging and being one of those teams, but man, so inconsistent. It's been a tough year. They sit at 6-5, and they've got 7 teams chasing them for that last playoff spot. They didn't look great against Denver. Do you think they're going to be able to stay in that 7th position, or are we going to see one of those teams in the hunt track them down and pass them?
You know what? I'm going to say it. I think they keep it.
Okay.
I think they keep it. I think they keep their positioning. I think Herbert has the talent to do it, and he has the weapons to keep that offense rolling. He's had flashes of brilliance, and I think the kid has it in him to have more flashes of brilliance to keep this thing afloat and to keep them where they're at this point in time. I think they can pull it off.
Okay. That's great. Patrick Surtain was the big main reason why the Broncos were able to beat the Chargers. He had a couple of picks of Herbert, and one was a pick six. Broncos are sitting just one. They're sitting in the same record, but they're in 8th right now, 6-5. Vegas is also 6-5 in 9th. We've got Indy 6-6 and Cleveland 6-6, sitting in 10th and 11th. Pittsburgh and then Miami. Miami really the only team really left that has any type of shot at getting there, and we already mentioned them. So a few little news and notes before we move on. The Browns' Ty Conklin is out for the season, suffered a knee injury yesterday. Dalvin Cook, dislocated shoulder. I mentioned that. Mike McCarthy is in COVID protocol. Dallas's coach might have to miss this upcoming game. And let's see what else. That could be it. Patriots, Bills. Oh yeah. The Patriots, Bills, we mentioned, they play those top spots. They play again on Boxing Day. Is that game?
Ooh.
That's just the second out of 3 games. Who else? Debo's sprain is keeping him out week to week. Darren Waller out with a knee injury, 1 to 2 weeks. Pat Freiermuth, concussion, not sure how long he'll be out. Dan Arnold, unfortunately, has an MCL sprain, out 4 to 6 weeks for the Jags, their new acquisition at tight end. And the Cowboys defensive tackle, Tristan Hill, is suspended 2 games for his post-game punch to the face of John Simpson of the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day. There was some extracurricular activity there that they said not within the rules, and suspended him 2 games. So I'm sure that's going to hurt Dallas a little bit.
Hey, people use their top when you're supposed to be calm, and the man wasn't calm, and so he ended up punching a man in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Still sits 17-9. In the Monday Nighter, Washington up by a touchdown and 2-point conversion. What is it? A few minutes left, 3 minutes left or so. Okay, why don't we switch and talk about the NBA? Let's focus a little bit on some of the goings on in the NBA. I guess kind of the biggest news today was Enes Kanter has decided to change his name. He will now be called Enes Kanter Freedom. He became a U.S. citizen today at the official swear-in ceremony, and he said he wanted to celebrate by officially changing his name to add Freedom to be his last name. He's been a very outspoken critic of the Turkish government and President Erdogan. He was labeled a terrorist. His father has been arrested, his passport revoked, and he's had enough of that. He wants to become a full-time U.S. citizen and change his name to Freedom. I guess exciting days in the Freedom household.
Yes, freedom. Like what? It almost reminds me of Mel Gibson where he played that role, Braveheart.
Braveheart, yeah.
Yes, it's like freedom.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. Kind of sucks that the president is so petty that he would throw his family members in jail. God, I hope they're still not in jail, by the way. No. And also, too, that they would revoke his passport so that he can't come back. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Yeah. It's like, really? The guy's just expressing his opinion. Pretty sure a lot of people don't like that guy as president. Just like a lot of people don't like a lot of their presidents for their country.
Yeah.
But I think it's the first where they just said, you know what? I don't like you either. You're out of my country. Like, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So I'm glad that he's an American citizen. And I'm glad that it looks like the U.S. has embraced Ennis. And good for him.
Yeah.
For him.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
It made me think of a couple of guys that changed their name that sort of similar. World Be Free. He was born Lloyd Bernard Free, and he changed his name to World Be Free. He was the Prince of Midair. That was one of his nicknames. And All World. Everybody said he was all playground, all county, all region, all state. Then he became All World, an amazing player, and he changed his name to World Be Free. Do you remember him at all?
Nope, I do not. I don't remember him at all. Okay. The guy that I remember who changed his name from back in the day when I was watching, played for the Denver Nuggets, okay. Chris Jackson,
yeah,
to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Right.
And that guy could shoot the cover off the ball.
Yeah, he sure could. Yeah, he was one of the best shooters ever. I got to know him quite well when I covered the NBA, and he had Tourette's syndrome, which was really severe. He had one of his symptoms of it was OCD, and he said that when he went into a gym, instantly his brain would say, you need to make 100 free throws in a row or you can't leave the gym. And so he would be there all night. He would hit 95 and then miss one. Oh, got to start back again and do 100 in a row. Started perfecting his craft, but he got kicked out of the NBA because he refused to stand for the national anthem, and they blackballed him and forced him out of the league.
Yeah. Kind of funny when you look at it then to now. Yeah. Because I'll tell you this much, that definitely wouldn't have happened now would it?
No. He would have got some trouble, but I don't think he would have been blackballed and forced out of the league like that.
No.
I remember the other guy that changed his name was Ron Artest, changed to Meta World Peace. And he kind of needed it. He was a little bit of a hothead, caused the malice in the palace. And hopefully in his later life, he'll be very peaceful. And that was a nice name to change it to, Meta World Peace.
Yeah, it's great. Because, like I do remember what he did at the malice of the palace, where he was just wrecking people, jumped in the stands and just started throwing down. Wasn't peaceful then. That was just Ron Artest doing Ron stuff. Wasn't Meta World Peace.
Yeah. Well, we had the Pistons involved in that fight, and that was at the Palace. Well, we had a bit of a dust-up last Sunday, not yesterday, but the last Sunday, between the Pistons and the Lakers. And Isaiah Stewart took a fist from LeBron, which cut him, opened up a wound that bled quite significantly. Isaiah Stewart tried to get at LeBron to exact some revenge and had a big on-court incident there. He was suspended a couple of games. LeBron was suspended once. And they had their rematch yesterday for the first time in a week. Both guys played, but no incidents happened in this game.
Come on. There will be blood. I want a bloodbath. Yeah. I want revenge. I want retro. No, of course not. Of course. I kind of expected this to happen. I expected that to be bygones be bygones. Like I'm pretty sure probably even LeBron reached out to the kid and said, hey, listen, sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that, right? And we know that he's never done this. That was literally his first suspension he's ever had in his freaking career. Yeah. So that's not what he does. That's not what he does.
I was shocked though, because he came on and started talking about suspension, and he used a little bit of colorful language. They called it profane language. He was warned for the use of the language in his post-game interview, and he was fined $25,000 today for an obscene gesture that he gave in the latest game. We'll say that you know Sam Cassell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So so they have decided that that's an obscene gesture now, and they're going to fine guys if they will do the Sam Cassell.
Keep doing it, boys. I love that one. I remember when Sam Cassell did that celebration first, and I'm like, yes, he does have them. They're big. They're huge. They're so big, he has to carry them like that. That's amazing. Yeah. Love it. Keep doing it.
I saw Fred VanVleet do it actually last week, and I didn't hear about a suspension for him. And Sam Cassell was actually on the bench. He's assistant coach now. And yeah, I saw Fred VanVleet do it, but I haven't seen the video of LeBron doing it, but I was surprised to see that he had been fined today.
Whatever. You know what LeBron's thinking to himself? 25 grand, which is like $25 to me. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. What's 25 G's when he makes 284,000 a game?
Yeah, that means nothing to me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Other news came out today. Kemba Walker has been taken out of the rotation in New York. They say that he's not going to be a starter. He's not going to be a backup. He's going to be a bench warmer. He has worked himself completely off the rotation, and he will not be playing for a while. He's been terrible defensively this year. His decline has been so rapid. And yeah, he went back to New York. He wanted to return to his hometown. It hasn't worked out well with the Knicks, and they're struggling. They see that his defense and that whole starting lineup defensively has been terrible. They need to make some changes to shake it up.
Yeah, and you know, like I feel for Kemba. Like his best years were obviously in Charlotte, and I think his body is just failing him now. Yeah. Especially that one wonky knee that he's always had throughout his career. I think it's definitely now affected his capacity to play the game. Yeah. So he might be nearing the end right here, right now.
Yeah, it's really too bad. Denver got some terrible news today as forward Michael Porter Jr. is have to undergo back surgery. No timetable on his return until after the surgery. This will be his third back surgery. He missed his entire rookie campaign season with his back surgery there. And this is another blow for Denver. They've lost 4 in a row. They've got Jamal Murray and PJ Dozier out with ACL tears. Jokic has had a sprained wrist and has been out about a week, missed 4 games, all losses. I don't see Denver being able to compete at the top of the conference with all these injuries.
No, man. They've lost too much. They've lost too many of their key players that they need to make a run on this team. And especially with Michael Porter. But the problem is with Michael Porter, that's why so many teams took a pass on him, because his medical with his back is absolutely atrocious. It's bad. Like, it's really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the man has done everything in his power to stay on the court and even play. But that back is no joke, man. And I have no idea what they're going to do with that going forward now that they signed him to that huge extension. So,
yeah, very surprising, man. That's tough. Also having to undergo surgery this week will be Joe Harris, the sharpshooter for the Brooklyn Nets, undergoing ankle surgery and expected to miss between 4 to 8 weeks. A blow for Brooklyn there.
Yeah, unexpected blow for sure. You know what though, they do have the wherewithal to withstand the loss of Joe Harris. If I don't know, James Harden puts down the Twinkie, maybe that might help.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Okay. Some other news and notes. Goran Dragic has decided to take a leave of absence for personal reasons. He's basically been stapled to the bench in Toronto. He was part of the Kyle Lowry trade that brought over Precious Achiuwa, but for some reason they don't utilize him in Toronto. There has been talks about the possibility of a trade there, but nothing has been worked out, and he's decided to leave for personal reasons. Is this more like, hey, I'd rather sit on my couch than sit on a bench where you're not going to play me? Do you think that's kind of the case there?
Could be. There could be actually something going on behind the scenes that we are not aware of. But at the end of the day, though, I think they're paying him a lot of money just to not do anything. Like I don't know what his salary is, but I think I'm pretty sure it's above 15 million.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm still getting paid, so might as well just get paid and hang out with the family. I think my kids still like me. I'm just gonna do that if that's the case. And if it is, well, whatever, man. I know that there was discussion between himself and the team wanted to go in a certain way, develop their young talent, and if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. So basically, right now he's in a holding pattern, waiting to be traded. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Those last three stories are about guys that aren't playing and won't be playing for the next foreseeable future, but there's a return to the NBA for the longtime ref Tony Brown. He's returning to work after being off for 8 months dealing with chemotherapy treatment for pancreatic cancer. He will be in the NBA replay offices tonight and going forward for the next little while until he can actually return to the court to be a referee. He went through 14 rounds of chemo already, 3 more to go. They say his tumors have shrank significantly, and they think his health is returning. And great news to see him actually getting an opportunity to return to some semblance of a job.
That's a great feel-good story. It's always great to see somebody overcome something of that magnitude, because so many times it goes the opposite way, and it still can. Yeah. But it's nice to see that he's battled back. It's in some sort of form of regression, and he's able to return to the sport that he loves. So way to go, Tony.
Yeah. He was great in the finals in 2020. Loved watching him there. He's refereed 1,109 regular season games and 2 All-Star games. And nice to see a guy being able to battle back from something that's so brutal, because pancreatic cancer is one of the toughest and one of the ones that usually a lot of people do not survive. So I'm glad to hear that he has been doing really well. Awesome. I'm glad that he's coming back. The Raptors, I mentioned Goran Dragic out, but they've had tons of injury troubles lately. OJ Anunoby has some hip troubles, missing his 7th straight game. Kem Birch is out with some knee swelling. Gary Trent Jr. has a severe calf bruise, and they just seem to be getting hit with tons of injuries. And this is being a tough year for the Raptors and their fans.
Yeah, it has been tough. A lot of injuries, people coming back from injuries. At least Pascal Siakam, I believe, is back on the court. So that's a bonus. But it's just hardships that they're going to have to try to deal with as they go through this NBA season.
Yeah. Tonight is the rematch between Denver and Miami, where Nikola Jokic ended up shoving Markieff Morris. They had a bit of an altercation, and Morris hasn't played since. And Jokic has been out quite a bit with a strained wrist. Let's see how it's going. Denver ended up winning 120-111. Jokic had 24, 15, and 7. Let's see, did Morris get himself in there? He did not. No, he never has appeared. And we thought he was faking the injury, but he hasn't played since. He has not played since that game.
Yeah. Oh, well. I'm sorry, man. Hey, I agree with Shaq. And I actually do agree with Shaq on this. You're going to hit a man like that, expect to be hit back.
Yeah.
Don't turn your back on that because guess what? The hit's still coming.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for him. I'm sorry. I just don't.
True.
You know what you did when you did it. So don't expect that the shots weren't going to be fired back your way.
That's true.
That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes.
Yeah.
So.
Tonight was a game between the Ball brothers, Lonzo and LaMelo. Tonight, Chicago and Charlotte. Both teams having a really good start to the year. Chicago ends up pulling off a big 133-19 win tonight. Lonzo, his numbers were not fantastic. He had 16 points, 8 assists, and LaMelo had 18 points, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds. Chicago got the better of them, but sounds like LaMelo had the better night between the Ball brothers.
Doesn't matter because if I'm Lonzo, I go still won the game, little brother. Remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you got the bragging rights there, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicago's one of the best teams in the East, and we were talking earlier about all the additions that they've done in the offseason, and suddenly they've turned it around. And I did a deep dive into the general manager of the Bulls, and I know this guy a little bit. His name is Mark Eversley. He's the first Canadian-trained basketball player to ever become an NBA GM. First GM from Canada, Toronto area, and the first person of color to ever hold that position for the Chicago Bulls franchise. Fantastic career already, finally given the reins in Chicago, and he's doing a really, really good job there.
That's amazing. I asked you before. I don't know who this dude is, but he's pushed all the right buttons. And now to know that he's a person of color and he's a Canadian, oh, I'm over the moon. I couldn't be happier for this dude. Oh. Like, look at the success he has. Like all the pieces that he's pieced together for this team. Now he can firmly just say, you know what? I did all that.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm all of that and a bag of chips,
bag
of nuts, bag of everything. That's awesome, man. Yeah. I couldn't be happier for him. I really couldn't because the team has shown that all the moves he made were the right moves. Yeah. And also, too, I want to add in this. The combination of Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan are the highest scoring 1-2 punch in the NBA at this moment in time. Right now.
Yeah, DeMar's got career high points per game, 25.8 points per game. And I can't believe what they traded for him. I looked at the trade and it was Thaddeus Young and a couple of draft picks from San Antonio. Like, man, they stole him. An incredible move. I remember Mark from Toronto. He was the assistant GM there when Brian Colangelo was their GM. When Colangelo got fired, he also got the axe. He went to Washington. Colangelo ended up finally going to Philly, and he ended up following Colangelo over to Philly, was in Philly up until the Bulls hired Eversley in 2020 to take over the franchise. The other deals that he's made were the big sign and trade deal for Lonzo Ball. I don't know what the hell the Pelicans were thinking there. He signed Alex Caruso. You told me the amount of money it was. What was the deal? 4 years?
4 years, $37 million. Yeah. Like that. What a what a deal. What a deal.
Amazing deal. And Nick Vucevic, and he got Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu from the Magic for Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter, who's now in Golden State, and 2 first-round picks. So he stole Vucevic and Aminu from there. It's amazing how much he's been able to turn around this Bulls franchise and assemble a top team.
Yeah, and then also too, just seeing that like those 2 guards of Caruso and Lonzo Ball, the way that they they work off each other. They lock down opponents. I just saw it the other day where they were playing against the Magic, and those two were so disruptive that the Magic couldn't run their offensive sets. Yeah. They literally couldn't run their offensive sets because of those two guys.
Yeah, I saw them play the Heat the other day, and the bulldog that Caruso is just incredible. Yeah, he's such a defensive bulldog.
Yeah, and just the two of them together, because they have a defensive mindset. Oh, man, the Bulls are going to be tough to play against come playoff time, man.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, it's great to see them doing so well. Okay, we are on the eve of a historic game tomorrow night. This is the game between the Warriors and the Suns. This is the first time in NBA history two teams from the same division will play each other with winning percentages of .850 or higher with at least 20 games played into a season. We've got the Golden State Warriors at 18-2, won 14 of their last 15 and 7 in a row. And the Suns, 16 wins in a row after a 1-3 start. And they play each other twice this week, Tuesday, Friday. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait. I do not want to miss 1 second of this. I'm PVRing both games, and I'm going to fast forward, rewind. I'm going to watch this whole thing unfold because these are the two best teams in the league, and it's going to be so amazing to see them battle each other these twice this week.
I might actually skip my workout I always do just to watch that game. That's how good the game is. I'm super looking forward to it because both these teams are playing out of their mind.
Yeah.
Out of their mind. They are the cream of the crop so far in the NBA. And this might be the foreshadowing of what it looks like for the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
This could be it.
This could be
what
it.
We're seeing right now could be the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Wouldn't that be something?
Devin Booker has been phenomenal lately. 30 points in 3 straight games, shooting over 50% from the field and 40% from three. Really, he's their offense. They're not getting any big contributions from anybody else. Steph with the Warriors this year has been getting contributions from many guys. He is still second in the NBA in scoring average per game, but he's got Wiggins, he's got Poole, he's got many guys being able to contribute. And this is going to be great to watch. Both teams are good defensively and great offensively. This is a battle of the Titans. I think whoever can, if one team can win both of them, I think it's really going to springboard them to, dominating this conference.
And it's bragging rights, right? Because it's just like, well, I own you. And I expect Steph. I actually expect like an offensive explosion from Steph. Steph likes making statements in games like this.
Yeah.
And I expect him to make a big statement coming up. But I also expect Devin Booker to not take a back seat to Steph.
Yeah.
And then Booker will have a big game too. This might be one of those classic games. You remember back in the day when we saw Michael Jordan against Dominique Wilkins and they went tit for tat?
For sure.
This could be that kind of game.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, exactly. And also they play on Christmas Day, 2:00 tip-off here on the West Coast. So they're playing 3 games against each other in less than a month. Man, it is going to be so fun to witness 2 teams at the top, with Phoenix being able to go all the way to the final last year, really got that confidence, know what they're good at, have been playing great. Warriors finally healthy in a lot of ways and really just have put things together this year. 18-2 against 17-3. This is fun. I'm glad the schedule makers have put these teams together twice this week. The Suns play Detroit on Thursday, so it's not back-to-back for them, but it is back-to-back for the Warriors. So Suns might be a little tired playing 3 games in 4 nights and a back-to-backer, but tomorrow night should be all systems go. Everybody seems healthy. And I think it's going to be, it's going to be so fun. I cannot wait. We're less than 24 hours away from it.
Yeah, man. I am looking forward to that. Yeah. Like I said, I'm probably going to skip the workout. I'm just going to kick back, watch the game and enjoy. And then we'll be texting back and forth. We'll be texting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to mention with the NBA? We've covered a few things. The other team that's sort of hot right now is the Bucks. They've won 7 in a row. They finally have put things together, and they're up into 5th place in the Eastern Conference with a 13-8 record.
That was what I was going to mention next, was the fact that, it was only a matter of time till they got their people back. And once they were healthy, they're going to make a run, which is exactly what they're going to do, which is what they're doing right now. So, watch out for the Bucks.
Watch out. And somehow, some way, the Rockets have won 3 in a row. They were 1-16, and now they're 4-16. I don't know what's went on there. I don't know how they've turned it around and won 3 in a row. Pretty bizarre to be the worst team in the league by far and suddenly win 3 in a row.
I guess every once in a while, even if you're wrong, the clock is right, twice in a day or whatever they say. But yes, they're able to win some games here. But let's be honest here, they're not moving from the bottom of the league. That's where they're going to stay. They're going to be basement dwellers for quite some time.
Yeah. I guess my last comment is John Morant hurt for the Grizzlies. Hopefully it's not super serious. It's a knee injury, but no word on how serious. They sit in the 8th position in the West, and he is so key to that franchise. Let's keep our fingers crossed that he's going to get back out there really soon.
Yeah. I hopefully a speedy recovery for John Morant, because the Grizzlies need him. They need his offense. They need his energy. They need his leadership.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn to the UFC. There was no card this past Saturday, but we can look ahead to the card this coming Saturday, the 4th, December 4th. Main event has the former featherweight longtime champion Jose Aldo facing Rob Font. Tell me what your thoughts are in this matchup.
Old bull versus young buck, pretty much. And this fight will show what Aldo's got left in the tank, and what is Rob Font ready to make that critical jump into contention, serious contention for the belt.
Right.
That's what this fight is all about.
Cool.
And if Rob Font can pass the Jose Aldo test, which is one hell of a test, then he's ready. He's right there. He's ready.
Both guys ranked in the top 5. Font is number 4. Jose's number 5. Both of them are fighting in their 3rd weight class. They both started at 155, went to the 145 class, and now fighting in 135. Jose was longtime featherweight champion, 18-fight winning streak, undefeated for over a decade, an amazing career. He was the last featherweight champion in the WEC, became champ in the UFC, and held the belt for a very, very long time. Obviously lost it to Conor McGregor, came back, got it in a fight against Frankie Edgar, was able to take the belt. Eventually lost it again to Max Holloway. Max Holloway was able to get him on back-to-back wins, TKOing him in back-to-back last minute of the 3rd round in both fights. But he has just had an incredible career. I don't think he's done yet. I love seeing him fighting somebody a bit younger and up-and-comer. I can remember so many amazing performances from Jose Aldo, and I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
Yeah, I am as well. You can just never count him out. He's just that good, and he's always going to be in the top 5. He's almost timeless. He's a fine wine. He's always going to be there, and he's always going to be dangerous, and he's always going to be that good. That's what a Hall of Famer is all about, and that's what Jose Aldo epitomizes.
Yeah. Listen to the guys that on his run. Listen to the top of the competition. He fought Cub Swanson, Mike Brown, Uriah Faber, Manny Gamburian, Mark Hominick, Kenny Florian, Chad Mendes twice, Frankie Edgar. And his fight against Marlon Moraes last year, he lost a split decision. Watch that fight again, everybody. No way. That was a horrible decision by the judges. He won that. And also today, I heard Aldo said that he wants to fight TJ Dillashaw next. He wants to fight on the Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling undercard against TJ. I was kind of surprised that he's looking ahead already before he's even fought Rob Font here.
Dangerous, interesting, but he's Jose Aldo, so I guess he can do that. I guess he can look past the number 4 guy.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, crazy. Font's on 4-fight win streak. He beat Cody Garbrandt, Marlon Moraes, Ricky Simon, and Sergio Pettis. He's 9-3 in the UFC, and he's had a decorated career. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the main event. The co-main event has Brad Riddell against Rafael Fiziev. That should be a banger. Those two guys will bring it, I'm sure.
Fight of the night. I'm going to say it right now. That's fight of the night.
Yeah.
Because Brad Riddell will bang. He will come to war, and Fiziev will not take a back step. That will be fight of the night.
Cool.
I expect an absolute fucking battle between these two.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We see the Carpenter Clay Guido back against Leonardo Santos. The Jimmy Crute, Jamal Hill light heavyweight battle should be a banger as well.
Yeah, Jamal Hill coming back after his arm got turned into spaghetti by Paul Craig. That was super disgusting. Anyways, so that's cool to see that these two are back. And then Jimmy Crute suffering that nerve thing.
Oh, yeah, to his leg, yeah.
His leg all froze up and he couldn't even move it. Yeah, anyway, so it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Hopefully those guys don't destroy each other like they did in their previous fights. So it should be a good fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
The main fight on the prelim card has Maki Pitolo fighting Dusko Tudorovic. Both these guys are tough as nails, and they're going to bring it.
Yeah, they are going to bring it. And Dusko, if I remember correctly, it's got some very odd movement.
Right.
And I don't know if the other guy's going to have a problem with that movement of his, but it'll be interesting to see. I like the matchup. It's going to be a very interesting fight between these two.
Yeah. There's a lot of great fighters on the card. Zuma Gulov will be great to watch as always. Alonzo Menifield's on the card. Chris Gritschmeyer. It's going to be a good fight card on the heels, on the eve of UFC 269, which we're all excited. And looks like we're going to have a big gang getting together to watch that one together.
It's going to be a great night. That's going to be a great night of fights. And the closer we get to 269, it seems like the more of us are going to be showing up to watch that fight together.
I know. It's going to be great. Okay, a few news and notes from the UFC. Khabib Nurmagomedov, I should know how to say that really. He's planning a huge press conference in a couple of weeks to announce some details to bring his Eagle FC fight promotion to the U.S. In January, they're going to have a fight card in Miami. The promotion so far has only had cards in Russia, but he's decided that he wants to bring it over here. He said he's planning on signing about 50 fighters, former UFC and Bellator guys, and a lot of young guys that have not made it up to the upper echelons yet. They broadcast their fights on Fight Pass currently, but they want to have some US fight cards, and it'll be interesting to see the Eagle FC fight card coming over here.
Yeah, Yeah, that's cool to see him branching out and being his own boss of his own organization. Yeah, good for him, man. Because hey, I think he's learned from fighting in the UFC. It's like, if I want to really control my own destiny, make as much as I can out of this sport, and also grow the talent the way that I believe the talent should be grown, just have my own organization. So good for him.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, there was another fight card from the Triller Triad Combat promotion, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier today. Frank Mir got absolutely rocked by Kubrat Pulev in Texas. He was just standing there, wobbled, didn't know what was going on, and they just waited until the other guy was gonna go in and destroy him. And finally, Murgliata's like, "No, I guess he's done. He's done." Yeah, Murgliata said he kind of thought maybe he would take a knee or he would do something, but he just never ended up being able to get his wits about him. That was a crazy shot that really just put him out on his feet. That was nuts.
I've never seen anything like it. Like, you just like it was pretty funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out on YouTube, because it's just like, man, he got walloped, and then the after effects of that was pretty shocking, to say the least. But I gotta say it, man. Unfortunately, I think Frank took that as a payday, as he should, but he could have come in a little bit better shape.
Better shape. Yeah.
He didn't look good. He's
0-2 in this promotion. He lost a decision in April to Steve Cunningham. Didn't look like he was in good shape, and I'm not sure why he's main event worthy, but he said he got more money for this fight than he did for any fight that he fought in the UFC or Bellator. He said this Triller Triad Combat promotion is paying massive amounts of money to these guys. We talked about one of the one of the fights on the card. Mike Perry got paid $250K for his fight. His biggest purse in the UFC was $90K in 2019. He won by split decision, but he actually really looked surprised that they called his name, because he was beat up pretty bad. He won the split decision, but there was a lot of volleys fired back and forth between this Triller. They say they're paying their ushers more than they're paying the guys in the UFC to fight. They're trying to piss Dana White off and put on these events, but they better start getting some better talent. Some really, really top end talent where you feel like paying to watch a guy, not Frank Mir, who's over the hill and out of shape. Why do we want to pay big money for a guy like him? Yeah,
because you're not going to. But I understand what they're doing. They're taking a page out of the Paul's playbook, which is attack the boss, attack the guy that's controlling everything right now. Attack him, and then see what may fall out of that, which is fighters on the UFC roster saying, "Oh, what the hell, man? They're making that much money over there? Well, as soon as my contract's done, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm bolting." Yeah. And that's it. That's it. That's the play right there. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Jon Jones was in the news. He got schooled on the wrestling mat by Jaden Cox, who's a former Olympic bronze medalist and two-time world champion. Did not look good on the wrestling mat. Supposedly, he plans to make his heavyweight debut in the UFC mid to late 2022. But he has a court date before the end of the year to try to deal with this alleged domestic violence charge and all the troubles that he's got going on outside the sport.
Yeah, I guess that's why his eventual debut in the heavyweight division will be somewhat delayed until he deals with, that stuff that's looming over him. Once that's dealt with, then hey, back to fighting and on, whatever.
Okay, there was a huge upset in the boxing world on Saturday. George Kambosos Jr. won a split decision over Teofimo Lopez. He won the IBF, WBO, and WBA titles and the Ring Lightweight World Championship, possibly becoming the greatest Australian boxer ever. He won a split decision. The scores were 115, 111, 115, 113. And Lopez was the winner on the other scorecard, 114, 113. Everybody in the house, everybody at home, all the analysts had Kambosos winning this. It was a close fight, but shocking news for the boxing world.
Yeah, of course, because Teofimo was supposed to, I believe, if I remember correctly, he's supposed to run through this guy.
Yeah.
This was not supposed to happen. None of this was supposed to happen. No. So this is probably on the same scale. Well, yeah, but you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's on the same scale as Michael Moore beating, was it Tyson? No,
he.
No, it wasn't that. Michael Moore beat. Come on. Come on, Brain. Help me out here.
Yeah.
Was it George Foreman?
Foreman, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yes, it was George Foreman. Yeah. It was George Foreman. It's on that level. Yeah. It's on that level of him doing that because it was completely unexpected.
It was pretty shocking. Lopez won his title in a shocking upset of Lomachenko 13 months ago. That a lot of people were not expecting that. Lomachenko was one of the pound for pound best in the world at the time. And he got his title. Was going to fight sooner than this, but he got COVID and had to miss a little bit of time. I'm not sure if he had any lingering effects from COVID. He didn't mention that, but he grabbed the mic during the post-fight stuff, and he said, "What the hell are you guys talking about? I won this fight. I won 10 rounds to 2. He started screaming, "Thanks for the victory. I want to thank all my fans, and I am the winner of this fight," and stuff. And he started getting seriously booed, very, very heavily booed in front of the American fans because he was quite delusional. He did not win this fight.
I remember somebody doing that in the UFC. What was his name? Marvin Vettori. It was Marvin Vettori. Yeah, sometimes there's a thing called taking your loss with grace.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that. That way you don't look like a complete buffoon and a fool, which is what Lopez made himself look like on that particular night.
Yeah. This is his quote. I've got, he's a hell of a fighter, but I won tonight. Everybody knows that. The referee raised my hand. I won tonight. I don't care what anybody says. I won. At the end of the day, I've been here. I've done that. I want to thank God. I want to thank everybody that came out tonight. Look, I ain't no sore loser. I just take my wins like I take my losses. And this was a win. Everybody knows it. And I'll be answering questions as the champion from now on.
That's kind of cool. Like, so self-proclaimed champion.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed. I love it when boxers do that. I know I lost, but I didn't lose. I won.
Yeah, pretty nutty. Yeah, but that was a pretty shocking result. He knocked down Kambosos in the first round, but Kambosos came back and dominated, and ended up getting that victory. And so we'll see what takes place here. A lot of people are lining up because they think Kambosos is an easy mark. A lot of guys are wanting to throw their hat in the ring to face this guy. They say he's a bum. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to be the champ now. And who knows? They might have an immediate rematch with Lopez, but we'll see what shakes down in the coming weeks.
Yeah, because usually in contracts like that, there is usually an immediate rematch clause. We saw that with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, and it's literally almost impossible to get out of the immediate rematch clause. So that might be happening sooner than later.
Yep.
I guess we shall see.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, this comes to an end. We got to cover NFL completely, the NBA in a lot of ways, combat world. A lot of fun, and time flies. We're getting close to 8:45. Anything more to add before we say call it a night?
No, actually, I don't. Okay, I do. Teofimo needs to learn that sometimes you get beat in this game.
Yeah.
And you need to learn that you're always better off losing with grace than doing whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, true.
You're always better off doing that. I don't know if he'll ever learn that. Maybe it's too late. I think he's only in his early 20s. Maybe it is too late for him. Maybe he will never get that through his head. But even his opponent that took all his belts said that. It's like, he's young. Give him some time. Hopefully he'll learn from this particular egregious mistake that he did.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
It wasn't the best look. It definitely didn't look very sportsmanlike, and it was too bad. Hopefully he'll get it clear ahead as the days come by, and he'll put out an apology and realize his mistake there, just not being a gracious loser and realizing the other guy was a better man on that night. Let's finish with the NFL here. It's a final. Washington football team beat the Seahawks. They sit now at 5-6, and Seattle is at 3-8 out of the playoff picture. I guess Seattle got a late touchdown, went for a 2-point conversion, and was not able to secure it. They lost 17-15 in this game.
Oh, surprising that they didn't make the 2-point conversion. Amazing. Crazy.
Yeah, I knew you weren't too excited about this game. I don't think a lot of people were. Not one of those great primetime games we've seen most of the year here. But sorry, Seattle. It's time to rebuild. I think they better blow up some of this team and retool. It's not working this way anymore.
No, it just isn't. It just isn't. It's the writing's on the wall, so to speak. So we'll see what happens in the off season, see what they start to do with the team.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, I'll send you on to your evening. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow.
All right. We will see you tomorrow, my friend. Adios.
Cheers. Bye for now. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for sticking in and watching and listening to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. Go to our website, CompleteSportsMedia.com, and our parent site, CompleteMediaNetwork.com. Support our partners and sponsors. As always, we've got great sponsors. Anchor FM, the easiest place to make a podcast. Verbero, the hockey equipment and apparel company. Pampas and Possibilities, designers of handmade, curated West Coast things for your home. And Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. We thank you as always. And tune in this coming week. We're going to have some great podcasts and some great content, a lot of funny things, a lot of amazing podcasts scheduled over the coming weeks. And we're getting close to Christmas. It's less than a month away now. And lots of fun will be had over those Christmas holidays. So thanks for your support. Love you guys lots. And we will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye for now.